All right, Jared Bednar is going to join us in just a few minutes. The Avs win last night. The Nuggets win last night, as Vic has pointed out. The last 6 times the Nuggets and Avs have had a double dipperoo, they have gotten the same result on those nights.
Double dipperoo.
Whether it's a win or loss.
4 of those have been the win result.
Which is always the preference. One of the things I want to ask Bedsy in a few minutes is, it's great that you're winning games. You want to be winning games, especially at this point in the calendar, at this time of the year. Does it feel equally as good when you get Dallas losing?
I wonder how much scoreboard watching. How much scoreboard watching are they doing? And will he admit that they're scoreboard watching? I mean, it's just human nature. Of course you have to be.
Well, remember, Vic, was it a couple weeks ago, I asked him, do you kind of like that Dallas is creeping at your, nipping at your heels, and maybe it keeps you sharp, keeps you focused? And his response was, it was like, no, not really. I would rather just be rewarded for playing good hockey all season long and get the 1 seed, but here we are.
I'd rather coast downhill than struggle uphill.
Well, and that is like the rest of their schedule is just it's jam-packed with games. And I don't know how it got to this point to where I told you, Vic.
Because they played the fewest amount of games before the Olympic break. But
how?
I don't know.
Why?
I have no idea. I mean, we just spent an entire segment on the Nuggets schedule. Do you want to go down the Avalanche schedule?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know how this stuff happens. I'm not sure what they use.
I told you earlier, it's 8 games in the final 12 days of the season, which is insane. So you're hoping that you get to a point in which you can rest guys once you get to that portion of your schedule and not have it be like must-win situations every single night, multiple back-to-backs in that final week and a half. It's just crazy.
Well, they have 2 back-to-backs from what I'm looking at right now. They have a back-to-back. Oh, wait. Do they have how many days in the month of March?
How many days are in March?
Yeah. Is it 30 or 31? Help me out here.
31.
Okay, so that's not a back-to-back. They have 2 back-to-backs left. They have one on April 4th to the 5th at Dallas, followed by St. Louis at home. And then they have another one April 13th and 14th at Edmonton, at Calgary.
That's what I'm saying, though. Both of those are in the span of 12 days.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to that point, it's like you're just trying to hang on for dear life. Hopefully, when you get to that Edmonton-Calgary stretch, you can tell a lot of guys to stay home.
You're hoping that the games are meaningless once you get to the Vegas game on April 11th. 4 games to play. Vegas, Edmonton, Calgary, Seattle. You hope that 4-game stretch is all about just fine-tuning guys and making sure you're ready for the Stanley Cup run, because that's not fun. But at this rate, they will be there.
Well, at
this rate, why not?
Yeah, you got. I think the next 5 games especially are pretty crucial because you're playing against a terrible Winnipeg team twice. You're playing against a terrible Calgary team, and you're playing against a terrible Vancouver team. Those are 4 games in which you should get wins. And then you play Dallas on April 4th. If you're able to go and win, I know they're already at 3 on a 3-game winning streak. If you can push that to 8, and I know that's asking for a lot, you can kind of coast it out, it feels like, for the rest of the year. You get the next 4 games, dubs, and then you finish it off with a win in Dallas on Saturday, April 4th. You got a handful of games left, but it doesn't feel like they're going to be, incredibly important at that point if you do take care of this for the next week or so.
This Winnipeg matchup, you're going to see a lot of Winnipeg here in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Because you're at their place, and then they come to your place on Saturday.
Right.
It's a little too much Winnipeg. There's only so much Winnipeg I can tolerate.
Especially, remember, those games in Winnipeg. What was the number that Moser gave us?
The last time they scored a goal, was it on Hellebuck or in Winnipeg? Was Jack Johnson?
In Winnipeg against
Hellebuck.
Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Until Marty Necas got the extra attacker goal in the game that they lost, whenever that was a couple weeks ago. Which is insane. Jack Johnson, before Necas a couple weeks ago, was the last guy to score in Winnipeg against Hellebuck? Really? So you have, in those 2 games, it's a home and home. Which order is it? They play first. Oh, yeah. First
at Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, then they come back home and play them again.
Which is why they're traveling out today.
Yes.
Weren't you the one who asked me, where's Winnipeg? And I told you it's in South America? You asked me that question.
I did ask you.
Just own it. You said, where is it?
No, I didn't know which part of Canada Winnipeg was in. Yes.
No, you had no idea it was in the North American. You thought it could have been anywhere in your mind.
Certainly didn't think it was the Caribbean. I didn't. Thought it was somewhere in Canada.
Like, if I gave you 30 tries at a map, just point your finger at Winnipeg, I'm not sure you could have.
I would have pointed somewhere west of Michigan above the border. I don't know where. See, this is my problem. Like, I know where Toronto is. Anywhere else in Canada, you name a city, this is a blind guess. I'm chucking a dart.
Vancouver? Come on, that's easy.
That's above Washington, isn't it?
Yeah, that's up on the Great Northwest.
Yeah. Is Montreal by Toronto?
Yes, not too far. Ottawa?
Ooh.
That's a stone's throw from Montreal, bro.
Okay, so that's the same area?
Yeah.
Yeah, these ones I don't know, man. Edmonton? Vic?
How about Nova Scotia?
No idea.
No clue at all. Which side of Canada
I would
is on?
assume above Montana.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No idea.
Could be. No.
What do you want from me? I don't know Canadian provinces. I didn't learn that. Not once in school they're like, let's learn the provinces of Canada.
You know, that brings up a question. Last night at the Nuggets game, it was Serbian Heritage Night. And everywhere Joker goes, whatever city they play in, how coincidental is it? They hold a Serbian Heritage Night.
Yeah.
How come there's never a Canadian Heritage Night? Ever. I've never seen Canadian Heritage Night.
You know, here's what I kind of think. If there was a major sport.
I've seen Hispanic Heritage Night. I've seen German Heritage Night. I've seen, of course, Serbian. Hell, they've had Italian Heritage Nights. Why is there never a Canadian Heritage Night?
But do they have, like, if you're at a, what's the Japanese baseball league called? The, oh, God, I can't remember it. But if you're playing professional baseball in Japan, do you think there's American Heritage Night? Do they do that? Do they do that our way? We do this for everybody else.
I've never once heard of an American Heritage Night. Can you hold an American Heritage Night in America?
Like, if I was the star player for Tokyo's baseball team, would they make it American Night for me?
Hey, let's cut to the chase. All right, let's stop with what the real purpose of these Serbian Heritage Nights are.
Money.
Why do you think NBA teams are holding Serbian Heritage Nights when Nikola Jokic shows up to play basketball?
Cash.
Do you think they're really sitting there going, we got to celebrate the Serbs?
Yeah, here's the thing, though. If I was an opposing fan or the opposing team of the Nuggets, I think I kind of hate it. You're inviting the other team's fans to come in, right? When you're putting Serbian...
But most of them are pulling for Joker.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're opening your building to people that will actively root against your team.
I was in Chicago for a Nuggets Bulls games a couple of years ago when they had Serbian Heritage Night, and I felt like I was in Denver.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're making some cash off it, but you are... Nobody's going to Serbian Heritage Night to see Joker play and root for the team that Joker's not on.
What is our biggest cry? Every time an opposing team comes in here and fills our arena, we get mad. At least I do.
Yeah.
My brother went to that game in Phoenix last night. He said it felt like a Nuggets home game.
Really?
Yeah. He said it was unreal how many Nuggets fans were there.
Well, Phoenix is like, look, they're in the play-in. I understand.
They've been a transplant. I mean, that's a transplant town.
Yeah.
Even more so than Denver. That's a snowbird town.
I do love Arizona. I do. Phoenix, I want to get to something with Joker later, by the way. We're still awaiting Jared Bednar to join us. They're jumping on the plane, it looks like right now. I want to get to something with Joker a little bit later and do a subject that we haven't done in a long time, but I think you're going to like it, Vic. Something we haven't done with Joker in a long time is have the MVP discussion with him. But I want to put some things in perspective for the kind of player that he is and where he's at right now in the MVP standings, because it's insanity. But we await Jared Bednar joining us here in just a few minutes. Again, the Avs and the Nuggets both win last night. It was good to see guys re-enter the lineup. Logan O'Connor finally back in the lineup for the Avs, along with Ross Colton. who jumped in there as well. And it looks like Lehkonen is not too far from being on the ice either. So you're looking at the ideal situation. End of the year, right before the playoffs are approaching, with a few weeks to get these guys on ramp, to get the chemistry going, get their feet under them. Looks like you're getting healthy at the perfectly right time with very key players.
Night? Who sat? Nicholas Waugh sat, right?
Nick Waugh did, yeah.
Okay.
But he was there was something injury related with him. We'll talk to Bednar about it. But I don't think it's a serious thing, but we'll ask him and he'll join us. He's calling right now. So we'll get to him in just a couple of minutes as we head out to the Ramos Law Hotline. Car accident, you need Ramos Law. Medical doctor and attorney, ramoslaw.com. All conversations with the coach are brought to you by the Colorado Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. And with that, head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar, joins us now. Hey, Coach.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So congrats on the win last night. And I know you guys got some craziness going on, jumped on the flight and everything. It sounded like tone-wise, despite a 6-2 win, you weren't very happy with the game last night. Am I assessing that right?
Yeah, I it's hard to not be happy when you're carving out points at this time of the year, but it was a sloppy game from our group. Like I think we made some nice plays to score some nice goals. I think we finished off our chances really well, which, sometimes we played good hockey games and just haven't been able to capitalize on our chances. I thought last night when we got a good chance, it was in the back of the net. But we were sloppy on the defensive side. Like moving the puck out of our zone, through the neutral zone, execution just wasn't great. It didn't seem like we had a ton of energy at times in the game, and then at other times, we did some good things. So not a complete game that I think we can look at and be super proud of, but it's a very good hockey team. It's a team that's sitting in top 10 in the league, and for a reason, and they're difficult to play against, so you got to give them a little bit of credit too.
Well, you got to be happy with your PK. I mean, double minor, 5-on-3. My goodness, you guys! Every time I looked up, you're on the PK. It seems, and it worked.
Yeah, and that like I did feel like there was a couple of those where we were playing pretty good at that point in the game, and then next thing you know, you're killing for 4 minutes, and it can kind of ruin the flow of the game for you. We're not going to make any excuses there, but we did try to build some momentum off the penalty kill, and they came out of the break a little bit sloppy, a little bit casual. Some of the details were slipped in. I thought Nolan Pratt did a nice job of getting the group together, identifying where the problems were starting, how we can correct them. Guys have responded since then, and we've been on a little bit of a roll with that penalty kill. And they look like they play with a ton of confidence. And now we're even adding guys back into it, guys like OC and their difference makers, which is great to see them get back in the lineup last night.
Head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar, with us. All conversations with the coach are brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, proudly rooting for Colorado's hockey team. Speaking of getting guys back in the lineup, it's important, obviously, to get guys back at this point in the schedule, but isn't it also nice to get guys slotted in the right spots, putting Kadri back at center and doing that? I'm sure that with Lehkonen kind of on the horizon here, you can't wait to work with a full deck.
Yeah, it's exactly it. Like, we had Colton, we had OC, guys that are getting back in the lineup. We're going to be without Nick Waugh for a little bit. He suffered an injury. We're going to give him some time off to get healed. We want to be healthy. We want to be feeling good, as individuals and as a team going into the playoffs. I think that's very important. But we've got some work to do here, sorting out what our lines look like, the chemistry, how we want to deploy these guys. We know we want to be a deep 5 or 4-line team and be able to roll our guys and what situations we can sort of use their guys in and trust their guys in, and just how we're going to deploy them against different line matchups throughout the league. And we have to make sure we find the chemistry. So it's not just one line going or 2 lines going, but we got everybody going come playoff time. And moving Naz back into the middle of the ice and finding him some wingers, and I think it's a really important step for our team, so we can get everyone firing on all cylinders here. And You can't do that until you get everyone back in the lineup and start spreading them out a little bit and see what we look like.
Betsy, I find the power play to be more effective when you score 5 seconds into a power play. That's always nice. How do you explain why is it looking better? It's looked so much better since the Olympic break. What changes have you made?
It's a little bit the same as the penalty kill, like I talked about. I don't know. I can't answer exactly why when you go over something, and you feel like you have a solid plan, that all of a sudden it just doesn't click, and then you kind of give them time to work on it, and you work through it, and it still doesn't click, and then you bring them back in for a meeting, they not click again, but like when we came out of the break, we sat down, went over like again, it wasn't the first time. It was like in depth of what we wanted our plan to be, what we wanted it to look like, what were the key points to it, positioning of every guy in different situations, but then you still got to use your instincts and make plays after that. For some reason, like that meeting, I think just like a fresh start, the break, not carrying over any frustration from the first part of the year, like just kind of starting fresh and starting over. For whatever reason, it clicked a little bit for us, and it's been doing a great job. It's been impactful on a nightly basis. We're still throwing away power plays that don't look dangerous and aren't any good, but we're finding a way on a nightly basis to like create a bunch of scoring chances or get on the board, and like it makes a difference for us last night. Quickly into the power play, it's a great face-off play. We get the look that we want, and it was well executed. It's in the back of the net, and it has to be a difference maker for us down the stretch and in the playoffs. And they've been doing a good job for now. What's a longer time, coming out of the break.
Head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar, with us. I wanted to ask you, as great as winning is and racking up points, and I'm sure that feels great, does it feel equally as great when you look at the box scores from the night and you see Dallas has lost their third consecutive game? How much scoreboard watching is going on with you guys?
I think varying degrees depending on who you are. I don't watch it a lot just because my mentality is like we just take care of our own business. Like prepare for our game, go out and play a game that we can be proud of. Like it's not just about the result for me either. Like we'll finish where we finish. Results are obviously really important because it's some goals that we have set and that we want to achieve through the regular season. And but like when you're going out and if you're winning hockey games like we are now, and some of them you love the way we play, some of them you don't, and you're still finding ways to win with some guys, on any night not at their best, or just having an off night. Sometimes we've had more guys like that than not, and we're still finding ways to win. When you're taking care of your own business, you don't have to do a lot of scoreboard watching. We know we're in first, and we just keep winning our games, we'll remain in first, So, but to get to wake up this morning and see it and see that Indy lost and Dallas lost, it's a good feeling. It was getting tight there for a couple games after we lost to them at home the other night and just got 1 point. And but since then, we've done a nice job after the Pittsburgh game of kind of getting back to where what we focus on, what we need to focus on.
How do you like this sort of mini-series you got going? Winnipeg at their place, Winnipeg at your place? Almost like a pre-playoff series.
I actually kind of like that this time of year. It's because we can go in with our game plan, make adjustments from period to period on what we're seeing. Guys can be super clear on what we need to do to win, and then it's about executing that plan and playing well in these situations, and then you can review it in the morning of the game on Saturday and go again, and you really kind of dig into what's working, what's not working, adjustments that you got to make on the offensive side or defensive side of it, and then let the players go do their thing. I have a lot of confidence in the players to be able to do that. So I kind of like it, and I think we got another one against St. Louis coming up, where we're at home and home, and so they're good little tests. You know, especially you go and win the first one. It's always difficult to win them both, but it's a good challenge for our team this time of the year to kind of stay in or get in and stay in playoff mode.
Head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar. Coach, I just felt like in the background I could hear Moser talking. Can you tell him to pipe down for me?
Moser's already, let's see, they'll look back here. He's up. I was going to say he's probably already napping, but he's got headphones on. He looks like he's watching something on his iPad.
There you go. All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win last night. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, fellas. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar, joins us every single Wednesday as they are on the plane to head towards Winnipeg. You know, maybe Moser's finally taking our advice, Vic. He said he's got headphones on. Looks like he's watching something. Maybe he's finally watching one of these movies or shows we've been telling him to. Always says he doesn't have time. Now you're on a flight.
100%.
Watch it. But interesting here, if you guys missed it, so he said that Nick Waugh is going to miss some time. Didn't sound like it was anything too serious, but give him a little bit of rest here before the end of the season wraps up. Get him ready for the postseason. But the Avs, 3-game win streak. The Dallas Stars, 3-game losing streak. Can't ask for much better in the Avs department right now. We'll get back to this in just a little bit. Stick around.
Tonight, we've got a double dipperoo.
Out in front, they score again. Go ahead and Sally. Parker Kelly. His first point in his last 5, his first goal in his last 8. Parker Kelly says, play me some Taylor Swift. It's 4-1 Avalanche with 2:41 to go in the first.
Tonight we have a double dipperino.
Murray has it left side of the midcourt circle. Guarded by Jalen Green. 12 on the shot clock. Gets a pick from Jokic, 10. Goes to the right hand. Throws it off over to Joker from 8. Jumper's good! Denver leads it by 2, 125 to 123. O'Neal hands it off over to Booker. Booker for the win. Missed it! Rebound O'Neal, and there's the horn! The Denver Nuggets sweep away the Phoenix Suns. Final tonight from the Valley. 125 Denver, 123 Phoenix. Oh, baby!
2 wins last night. I have a question for you, Vic. Can you allow me to do something that we haven't done in a long time?
Please.
Which is talk about Jokic and the MVP for just a moment.
Oh, boy.
Because I ran into this in the appetizer. We just kind of stumbled across it, but I do think it's interesting. So Jokic going into last night in a game that he finished, was it 23, 17, and 17? He needs 51 assists over the remaining 9 games to officially average another triple-double over the course of the year. We know the very few amount of people that average a triple-double at all in a season. Westbrook, one of the guys that did it multiple times. But it would put him in very rare air. And just for perspective, Jokic this season is averaging 28 points, 13 rebounds, and 10.6 assists per game on 57% from the floor and 39% from 3. This is not an argument to why Jokic should win MVP. Because not only is he not going to, he's not even close. I don't think he should. I think he's missed too many games. But
I don't disagree.
I want to put this in perspective for a second.
Yeah.
The odds to win MVP in the NBA this year, right now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is at minus 900. So here's what that means. You throw $900 down, it wins you 100 if it actually comes true. Victor Wembanyama is second. He's at plus 700. Joker is, this is finals MVP. Hang on one second. Awards. There we go. Minus 900. Luka Doncic is second at plus 1,000. Victor Wembanyama's third at plus 1,200. And then all the way behind them is Jokic at plus 7,500. Way, way behind those three. Do you know how good you have to be? How amazing of a player you have to be? That you average a 28-point triple-double on 57% from the floor, 39% from 3, and nobody cares? Do you know how good you have to be to do that?
Dude, how many people in the league can just throw up a ho-hum triple-dub almost by halftime last night, third fastest of his career, 17 rebounds, 17 assists, and it's just another night at the office, and it's not even going to help him in his MVP case because he's done it so many times.
That's what's blowing me away. This is not an argument for him to win. It's the fact that, Vic, if I copy and pasted those numbers onto Victor Wembanyama, this is a landslide victory that he wins MVP. It's not even close. Shai is not in the conversation. Wembanyama is winning this without a doubt if he has the same numbers as Jokic this year. And I asked this question, and I mean this honestly, Vic, because I'm as guilty as anybody. Jokic comes out of that game last night 23, 17, and 17. And a lot of times in games like that, my first reaction is, man, Tim Hardaway Jr. is really knocking down them threes last night, huh? A huge piece of that. It's a footnote, what Jokic does. And here's my question. What could Jokic do that would legitimately wow you now? That you would leave the game and be like, oh my God, did you see what Jokic did last night? I think he's reached a level where that's impossible. Anything that he does, Vic, feels like something you would expect of him, which is entirely unfair. Like, legitimately. What would Jokic have to do to wow you coming out of a game?
If the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, if their records were reversed, okay, Nikola Jokic would be the front runner for the MVP. It's pretty simple.
You think even with the games missed?
Yeah. He'd probably be the front runner. Well, games missed, that means that the teams... Do you realize how deep Oklahoma City is?
I know.
Dempsey and I were talking about it last night. Jalen Williams returned, the good Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
He returned to the lineup the other night. And I'm trying to think, you got to shoehorn this guy back in there. They're so damn deep.
Right.
It would be, I'm going to say it right now, it would be an upset for Oklahoma City not to represent the West, or not to win the entire thing again. That's how good they are.
Of course. But hang on, just going back to my question. What numbers would Jokic have to do to amaze you that you wouldn't think is just a standard Jokic
the numbers,
thing? Like,
we're numb to the numbers now.
If Jokic put up a 40-point, 19 rebounds, 17 assist game, we'd be like, well, Jokic just does that. That's just kind of what he does.
We're numb to the numbers because he makes it so consistently impressive that I'm telling you, it's dumbed us all down.
Yeah.
If you name any other player who put what were his final numbers last night?
23, 17, and 17.
Apply those numbers to any player in the league and tell me how you would view their game last night.
Yeah.
You give those numbers to, I don't know if there's anybody else capable of doing that. I mean, if Luka did that, it'd be the talk of ESPN.
I posed this question, the appetizer, to the listeners, and literally what they said was, for him to shock people, somebody said if he would put up a 40, 30, and 20 game, that would do it. It's like, yeah, that probably would. Here's another one, Vic, which is funny. If he starts dunking like AG, that would shock me.
If he started blocking shots, if he started pinning balls up on the backboard, oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he has reached a level of excellence where nothing he accomplishes surprises you anymore. Yeah. And I don't know how many athletes in history hit that level. Honestly.
Having said that, I find it a waste of time to discuss the MVP.
Oh, I agree with you.
It doesn't do me any. It doesn't satisfy. This is about the team. It's about the playoff push. You know, frankly, I think Luka deserves more MVP talk.
Vic, I only brought that up as a vehicle or an avenue to prove the point that Jokic is averaging 28, 13, and 11 over the course of a season, and he's fourth in the discussion. That's how crazy it is to me. Not that he deserves anything or whatever. Like, I'm with you. I'm kind of bored with the MVP talk, but it's just to have an athlete do that and not even be close.
Sure,
is crazy.
My mindset for the Nuggets is simply this. All right, I'm watching them play out the remainder of the schedule. They've got 9 games to go. I need to find where, in certain situations, where can they be better? Because at some point, they're going to have to beat the beast to get to where they hope to go.
Yeah.
And the beast is OKC. So where can they be better in certain situations? I can point to one area after watching the last couple of games where they're already better. I think the non-Jokic minutes, going small, finishing +9 in those. Remember if you played the non-Jokic minutes and you finished -9, it was a victory? They're +9 last night.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a victory. They still have to fix their clutch defense. It's still somewhat broken. And it's got to be fixed before you get to the playoffs, or you got to do it in the playoffs. That's what I'm looking at this team and saying, what are the little things they can do? And I measure everything against that team. Not against Phoenix, not against Toronto. If they were playing OKC last night?
If they played OKC last night with that defense, they lose. That's what happens.
By the way, if that shot goes in for Booker, think about it. They would have been buzzer beaten 3 times in the month of March.
Yeah. But it's almost like that part of it is less important to me than the idea that you're up 8 with 3 minutes to go and you let it get to that point. Like, that's the thing that kills me, is it's not even that at the end of a game you allow a buzzer beater and you lose on it. I think to a certain extent, that stuff can just happen. It's bad luck. It's whatever. But when you're up 8 with 3 minutes to go and you allow the game to be within reach for the team, your opponent, that's the issue. And like I've mentioned this before, you enter fourth quarters with a 12-point lead, and then all of a sudden it becomes a mad dash to the finish. That's the stuff that bothers me. And I think Peyton Watson can help in that department because he's got the length and athleticism sort of combo where he can deal with a whole bunch of different body styles. But I think what you're talking about here, Vic, is they just have a tough time switching with Jokic late in games. Like, Jokic isn't a good defender. We know that. Mm-hmm. He does things well defensively. He gets his hands in passing lanes. He's not a rim protector. But when they start to do a whole bunch of switching, it feels like you're playing catch up because Jokic just can't keep up with it.
Well, it's
but
not
you can't take
him
off the floor.
It's not just him, and that's where we have to come to terms with this. The starting unit defensively, the rotations are soft at times. All it takes is one guy not going all out. All it takes is one guy to sort of chill on the defensive side, and the rotations are all out of sorts. And that's what I've noticed. I've noticed that. Because they're so damn good offensively, here's what I've noticed. Because they're so good offensively, they lean on that too much. Totally. We'll make it back.
Yeah.
We're fine. They're not going to stop us. Why stop them? I see that too many occasions. They're not going to say that, but that's what I see. What do you see? What does everybody see?
Well, they've done that for years. They've been a team that's like, they will put it on cruise control for a few minutes because they think they can just flip the switch whenever they want to. And this year, it's been a lot more difficult to find that switch than in years previous. And that's how you find yourself in situations like last night. Like, if you had that switch, that game is not coming down to a final possession. And so, yeah, it's like it's got to be fixed, but do you think it's something is there anything coaching related to this? Like, because there is one thing that happened. They were pretty good in that category for years. And then there was a coaching change, and now they aren't. Is any of this on Adelman?
I don't know. I guess we're fixing to find out in the playoffs. I guarantee you this. He's loving what the second unit has done defensively.
Yeah.
The chaos with which they play. Because not only is it effective, but it's a tool to be used in coaching. See what happens when we do it this way? I just don't know if you can, for a starting unit to play that way an entire game is almost impossible.
Well, to me, there was a tell last night from Adelman. He does not trust his team's late game defense. If he did, he wouldn't be fouling.
Bill Hansick was the first to say that. Totally agree that. They went with the hack-a-shack routine when they were up.
Yeah.
When they were up in the game. Not down. They weren't trying to catch up. They were up.
It's a tell.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think if you're up in a game and you're the better team, play defense.
The NCAA tournament lives on Altitude Sports Radio, and for coverage of the Sweet 16 on Thursday and Friday, tune in to AM 950, starting with Texas and Purdue tomorrow. The NCAA tournament on Altitude Sports Radio is powered by the Reputation Law Group, specializing in divorce and DUI matters. To schedule a consultation with these attorneys, go to thereputationlawgroup.com. I have something I want to talk about that's happening tonight that I don't understand the strategy towards it. We'll get to it next.
Hey, man, you better not mess around with your lawn. If you want it to be green, water restrictions already coming. They're going to happen. If you want that water, when you do water, to get to the roots of your lawn, aerate. It's the best way to get there. And nobody does it better than Mile High Aeration. Best in the business since 1987. Family owned and operated. Visit their website at milehighservices.com. They do more than aeration, but they do aeration better than anybody else. Why? Because they got the bigger, heavier machines. They pull a deeper plug. They use a special sauce fertilizer that gets your lawn green as can be. Mile High uses golf course grass seed for overseeding. They do it all right. So call them today or visit them online. 303-778-1000 is the number. Online at milehighservices.com.
All right, for those paying attention at home, tonight is basically like the Thursday night football opener to the MLB season, Vic. You have the Yankees and the Giants opening the MLB season on Netflix tonight.
Where are they?
At 6 o'clock.
Are they in a foreign country, or is this?
No, this is them playing in San Francisco.
Well, good. I mean, because in years past, we've had the official opener like a week before in parts unknown.
Yeah, it's always in Japan or something like that. But I have no problem with tonight. Here's the problem I have. Tomorrow, they open up the season to like a whole bunch of teams, except why not all of them? Why isn't opening day for everybody on opening day? Why do the Rockies not play until Friday? You have, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 games tomorrow. Why isn't everybody playing on the same day? What are we doing?
I'm the wrong person to ask about pro sports scheduling because I'm in one right now.
Yeah, I know.
Trust me.
It drives me nuts.
They have to have a rhyme and a reason for it. There have to be. I mean, they want to parse it out. I mean, is it television induced? I don't know. Like for the NBA schedule, the reason we're seeing so much wackiness, it's 100% television related.
Yeah.
With the new network deals.
Yep.
Peacock decided they're going to do 9 p.m. starts.
Yuck.
It serves a purpose in their eyes. I don't know what baseball's reason is for that. You tell me. Is there a purpose being served?
I don't get it. I mean, I know that what they want to have, I think, is like all day. You have a game that starts like tomorrow. They'll have a game at 11:15, then one at noon, and then one at 12:20, and then one at 1 o'clock. Like, I know they're trying to spread them out throughout the course of the day, but stack some up. Why do I got to wait an extra day? No fair. By the way, I saw this. All these, I don't think anybody does this quite like an MLB stadium where they have their new food items of the year. And somebody who is a big Rockies fan, her name's Shannon, she has all of the different food items that are going to be introduced here at Coors Field this year as brand new. So, Nelly, let's go one by one through these. And let's do Vic, who is the more picky eater when it comes to the junk. And then me, who is the Hoover vacuum and will eat anything. So here's what's first. Mm-hmm. It's called the Glazilla.
That looks like it would kill someone. That would kill a human being. If I ate that, I'd be dead.
You can find that in section 157. It's a 2-foot, 1-pound hot dog made for sharing. So 1 pound dog.
I ain't sharing.
I would definitely eat that. What does that look like? Is that like mac and cheese on there, Nelly? Is that what that is?
Mac and cheese.
It looks like
100% death. That is biting into death.
Okay, let's go to the next one here. It's a taco momalona. So
I would do that.
Brisket, cheese, shredded cabbage, pork belly, gold barbecue sauce, hot Cheetos, and avocado crema.
I could do without the Cheetos. I mean, what are we doing? What are we adding?
Hot Cheetos, a little kick, though. Gives you a little kick. You ever had hot Cheetos?
Yeah. What are those little things that my kid eats them all the time? Taquitos?
Those I've never had.
Takis?
Takis, yeah. Those are addictive. Put a couple in your mouth, and you're like, whoa, these are hot. Oh, give me another one.
Are they good? I've seen, like, some of them are blue, and I'm like, I'm not eating a blue chip. I'm not doing that. By the way, you sounded for a minute there like Prime. What do they throw? Tacos? Tortillas?
Fajitas?
Yeah, fajitas. See how I did the taco. So let's keep going. The Dubai cinnamon roll. So it's topped with chocolate, vanilla ice cream, pistachios, caramel puff cereal, and catalfi? I don't know what that is. I can't do it. It's too much. And I know, Nebraska's got the weird thing of cinnamon rolls and chili. It's better than you think it is, but it is super weird. I can't. That's too much stuff on that thing. So let's keep rolling.
Wait, no. You think you're just going to gloss over that? What did you just say? Cinnamon rolls with chili on them?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Cinnamon rolls and chili. It's a very popular combo in Nebraska.
At the football games or just around the state or? Kind
of both. But yeah, you take a cinnamon roll, you break off a piece, you dip it in the chili, you eat it, you get sweet, you get salty. It's actually better than you think.
That's going to be a no from me, dog.
Don't knock it until you try it. All right, a few more here. So we got
my stomach hurts just going through these food items.
Keep going. Next up is pizza donuts.
All right. Shut me off.
All right, so that's just, we don't got to go through all of them. That's just a few of these.
Excuse me?
Yeah, pizza donuts. They're donuts with like pizza toppings on them.
If you openly eat something like that and take pride in eating
couldn't do that. No. No chance.
I can't be friends. I don't know what to tell you.
The idea of eating a pizza donut on a 95-degree day in Coors Field sounds absolutely miserable. Just terrible. Now, here's one from another stadium that It sounds okay.
Pizza donut.
But Vic, it's in Boston, so you got to throw that out there first. The Red Sox they're going to be serving they're calling it lobster poutine. So it's crispy fries, lobster meat, clam chowder was what makes the poutine, and crispy bacon all served on a boat, like an actual boat.
I love clam chowder. Now, when you mix all these things is when it gets a little goofy. I don't understand the need to mix.
I have two major concerns, by the way. Major with that. Because I like a good lobster roll. I think it's great. Yeah. Clam chowder on a hot day does not sound great. Like, I don't want to go to the stadium and eat something hot when I'm hot. So that's number one. Number two, are we going to trust a baseball stadium with seafood? That's my other question. Like, Vic, if you're rolling through Coors Field and it's like, we can serve you up a piece of salmon, wouldn't you be like, I think I'll pass on the baseball park salmon?
At least they're near water in Boston.
It's true, but still, it's. I don't know what the food handling stuff is at baseball stadiums. We all kind of acknowledge it's like, it's probably not great, but whatever.
Listen, man, I mean, you're talking to the wrong guy. This topic, I mean, if Moser were here, you guys could do an hour on this. You're talking to the wrong guy to discuss
I wanted the wine and salad guy to tell me his
foods.
thoughts.
For me, it's pretty simple. Give me a freaking piece of pizza and a hamburger and a hot dog, and let's watch the game. This is not tough. It's not hard. They try to. There's too much stuff. I don't care about all these concoctions. I'm there to watch the game. I don't go to the game for the food. I don't go to the game to stay in line and get a pizza cupcake or whatever the hell you were just trying to sell me.
That is
just
not
watch
true.
The game.
That is not true. Because you refuse to go to the game unless you're right behind home plate with a glass of wine. And that is very not baseball. Glasses of wine and baseball are not things that mix together.
But I had an opportunity to sit there, though.
It's true. I'm just saying, you can't say, give me the pizza and the burger. I'm just an all-American baseball guy with a glass of wine in your hand.
You can mix that with a burger. There's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't say you can't mix it with a burger. I'm saying you can't mix that at a baseball stadium.
You know what goes well with a pizza donut, Brett? A nice Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's go.
Hold on a second. You guys, see, this is where you guys are wrong. You guys have the impression that drinking a glass of wine is somehow elitist. Let me counter your argument there. You know what I think? No. You know what I think is elitist? All you beer freaks who go to these beer places and have to beer up every beer, every flavor of beer. You beer freaks are elitists. You're the elites. I just want a glass of my mom and dad's homemade wine that tastes like Mad Dog 2020. It tastes like crap, and I love it. That's what appeals to me. I'm not elitist because I like wine. It's just what I like.
I didn't say you were elitist because you liked wine. I'm saying wine at a baseball game is not a combination that you see. That's not it.
Maybe in an Italian baseball game it is. Team Italy got to the semifinals for a reason.
Team America, Italy. But yes. The American baseball team that represented Italy.
You beer people talking about elitism when everything you do is about concocting a different beer.
Hold on a second. I will fully acknowledge that if you're a craft beer guy like myself, you are a little bit elitist about your beers.
You think?
You are. I am not above chugging down Busch Lights, though. I'm not above that. It's just given the scenario of what are you offering me, I will take the craft beer over the domestic.
Brett, I don't have a palate. Every beer tastes the same. Every wine tastes the same. You could give me a $10,000 bottle of wine, and you could give me Carlo Rossi, and it all goes down the same. I don't care.
I'm with you on that. I have never understood. Any wine that's over $13.99 is like, nope, not doing it. Can't. I don't know the difference. They all taste the same to me. Some are a little better than others, not worth an extra $50. Totally with you.
You know my favorite concession food I've ever had? And I hate to go here because it's going to sound elitist. At the Masters.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
Let me tell you why. Because it's very simple. Just a basic white bread, Wonder Bread, egg sandwich. That's all it is. Or pimento cheese. Cheap, $1.50. Wash it down with a beer.
Yep.
Just a standard beer or a water, and that's all you need. They're not selling you what is that? Cupcake pizza at Augusta?
Donut pizza.
They're not doing that. It's just a basic egg sandwich. Here you go. Here you go, pal. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the round.
There is nothing I like more than an egg sandwich, by the way. Just the greatest.
Not to be elitist, but when I did play Augusta 3 times last year, we did go home with several egg sandwiches, and those things were to die for.
So, what? You're leaving the course, you just take a handful, stuff them in your pockets, and go back to your room? What do you mean?
Man, I had the egg sandwiches for days.
Put it in like the mini fridge in your room?
Dude, you won't believe it. If you've ever been to the Masters to watch, everything's expensive, like getting in's expensive, and the gear's expensive. The food is cheap as can be.
Oh, I know.
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
Because that's your whole thing. The most expensive item is like $3, isn't it?
You can eat there for days.
Oh, speaking of golf, I know you hate the TGL thing, but you see that Tiger actually played in it yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't watch. I heard they got beat up pretty bad. But it's great to see Tiger back. I mean, and I don't hate the TGL thing. Don't paint a picture that's not accurate. I think it's pretty cool. I just don't have time to watch it.
You weren't a
always
fan
a
of
game
it.
Going on.
I thought you said you just weren't a fan of it.
Well, I'm not into simulated golf.
Yeah.
But the fact that they do it the way they do it is fine. It's a little different. Simulated golf is not golf. It's just
right.
It's a simulated activity. It would be like shooting a basketball into a tarp and letting the computer determine if it's good or not.
So has Tiger already said he is playing in the Masters, or is everybody just assuming it?
They keep pushing him on this, and he says he doesn't know.
Oh, he knows.
Well,
he might not want to say
probably
it.
does know, but the fact that he hasn't said anything leads me to believe that he's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of wants to surprise people. And again, I'm one of those guys. A friend of mine just texted me. He said he was at the Masters a couple of years ago. Those egg sandwiches I call them sandwiches.
Sandwich.
Egg sandwiches. Tiger, you could give me a camera on Tiger, and he could shoot 105, and I will watch him play golf at Augusta over the rest of the field.
Yeah.
Say what you want about that. That's what I would do. Would you?
Of course. I will watch him double bogey every hole. I don't care. I just want to see it. And he probably will. Like, he is. You think about the amount of injuries he's had. Somebody went through the list. It was like, okay, the broken leg, Achilles tear, back problems like crazy, knee problems like crazy. The fact that he's walking is insane to me. By the way, can I tell you something? Yesterday, I went out. I played terrible. Terrible. I played with a human being, Vic. I didn't know this was possible if you weren't on tour. 8 birdies. I played with a man who had 8 birdies.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Who?
His name's Todd. No, you don't know him.
Just a rando you ran into?
I know. I've known this guy for a while. He was always very good. He's like a scratch golfer.
Holy moly.
But he had 6 on the back.
What'd he shoot?
68.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? It's good and bad.
6 birdies on the back.
It's good and bad because you shoot a 68 this time of year and you're happy because your game is in rhythm. But you know as well as I do, anybody who's playing golf in Denver right now, it's not real golf.
You can say, you know what, Vic?
That. You know that.
I'll tell you what.
You know it.
I'll tell you what. That's
There's
all
no
fine.
Rough.
That's
you
all
find
fine.
Your
Yep.
ball.
That's all fine.
It goes forever.
Hang on.
It's not real golf.
Vic, you can say it's not real golf. I will agree that it is different than playing in June or July. I will also tell you, watching a guy hit 8 birdies in a single round is the most remarkable thing I've seen in my life.
100% impressive. I'm just saying. You know, and I know. Although now you could chart your scores on your handicap system now. It's past that date, which is interesting. I wonder if you put that down. Hey, go check his USGA. Make sure that he posted.
By the way, my buddy just sent me a screenshot of the Masters website. Yeah, and it's on Tiger Woods' profile there. Tiger Woods is making his 27th Masters start in 2026. Is what it says. So has the news broken already?
He didn't say anything yesterday about it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see this.
Am I missing something?
Come on, light. Yeah, it's right up there. It says Tiger Woods is making his 27th Masters start in 2026. So I guess somebody knows already. 303-504-0925. There is a party at the Ryan House tomorrow night, and it's with Kreckman and Lindahl. They'll be there live starting at 3 o'clock, and you can join Andy to watch the Avs take on the Jets with puck drop at 6 p.m. Also, enter to win a Cale Makar autograph stick and other awesome Avs prizes. We'll see you at Ryan House tomorrow starting at 3. So, get back to the Nuggets and the Avs in just a little bit, because both of them win last night. Now, the Nuggets have a very, very difficult situation in what they're facing today. It's not the opponent. Their opponent stinks and has essentially given up on the year. Dallas has won 2 games in the last month of basketball that they've played. But getting in as Scott Hastings, I was sent a screenshot from DMac this morning. Scott Hastings texted me, did the same thing that Vic was talking about with what Katie did.
About the time. You better be careful, because you can't complain about a schedule for the rich basketball players.
1:33 in the morning, Hastings said, just got on the plane at 4:12 a.m. He said, good morning, boys. I just got upstairs. So they got in at least 4 o'clock, if not later. And that's what they're going to be facing tonight. So we'll get back to that in just a little bit. Oh, by the way, next. Oh, by the way, stories from around sports in the world we feel like you should be aware of. Just breaking a couple of minutes ago from Shams, the Board of Governors in the NBA has approved a vote for the league to explore bids and applicants for expansion teams exclusively in Vegas and Seattle. The bidding process is expected to generate offers in the $7 to $10 billion range. Not something that we weren't thinking was going to happen, but now it is official. So the NBA is going to be adding 2 more teams in both Vegas and Seattle. The question is, there's got to be a team that now moves to the east. I would assume Memphis?
It's got to be Memphis and possibly Minnesota.
Yeah.
Wouldn't 2 teams move to the east? 2 teams in the west?
No, you'd only have to move 1, wouldn't you?
Well, you're expanding by 2 teams, right?
So that would take you to 32. So you have 15 on each side. You'd have 17. If one moves out the other way, it's 16 and 16. Isn't that how it works?
But you're adding 2.
Understood, but you're subtracting 1 from one side.
That's a good point.
To make it,
So,
here, watch.
hold
Vic, hang on. Let me do
Live
it.
sports talk radio math.
Let me do it
Here
an
we
easy
go.
way for you. Ready? Here's 2. Now
Yeah,
watch. Boom! And now we're
Holy
even.
crap.
Anyway, so that looks like it's going to happen. Something else. This caught our attention yesterday. I can't stop looking at stuff about this. I watched the video that you told me to watch.
Before you get to that, did you see the price tag of these expansion teams?
$7 to $10 billion.
Okay, you just sort of glossed over that. Billion.
Yeah.
10 billion.
Well,
10 billion.
Think about how much money is going to be in. By the way, I have a question about this, and this might be dumb. I fully acknowledge this might be dumb. Vegas is in decline right now, aren't they? Like, Vegas isn't getting the same tourism numbers as they used to get. Is it? Is it smart to have all these teams in Vegas, all these teams wanting to move? Again, is that a dumb question? I know Vegas is always going to be Vegas, but they have said that they have seen a drop in tourism recently.
I don't know. Maybe it's a way to get that market back and running again. Maybe there's some behind the scenes that we're not aware of.
Like, would you feel like if you're running a team, would you rather be in Nashville or in Vegas?
If you're running a team, what, based on distraction, based on attendance? Because I can tell you this, when you're in Vegas, you're not always going to have home court advantage.
Well, I guess my thing is, if I went to Vegas, I don't know how far down my Rolodex of things I want to do I would have to get to be like, I want to go watch Vegas basketball. You know, you're kind of there for other things and not the sports, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. Now, Vic, we talked a lot yesterday about Alan Ritchson, the guy who plays the main character in the show Reacher, who is a behemoth of a human being, punching his neighbor. And there's this beef of like who started the fight. He was riding his motorcycle, and then the next thing you know, he's punching his neighbor. Well, his neighbor explained his case, and I got to say, I heard this audio, and I was shocked.
It started on Saturday morning and I'm an experienced motorcycle rider. I've been riding bikes all my life. So, you know, from dirt bikes to street bikes and etc. But I'd heard this incestuous revving and speeding through our neighborhood of the motorcycle. I eventually saw the guy on Saturday. I didn't know who it was. And I sort of like flippantly sort of said, "Guy, do you, like he was quite aware." And I said, "Can you just slow it down, please?" And then there are numerous people
All right,
in my
I don't
neighborhood
care about
who
the rest.
call all
It's
of this
another
on-
40 seconds of that. The point is, Vic, you can't fight a guy with that accent. You can't fight Alan Ritchson if you sound like that. You're not winning, okay? I can tell from the second you spoke, you were going to get your butt kicked.
He sounds like he wanted to make a theater of it, too.
Yeah.
Sounds like he was out to get some street cred.
Oh,
Well, it didn't work.
I was watering my plants, and then this man came in a motorcycle, and he hit me in the face.
Now, just curious, what would you do in that situation? Obviously, I ride a hog, and it makes noise.
Yeah, of course. And you're as big as Alan Richmond. I mean,
Yeah, and I ride in my neighborhood at times.
Yeah.
But if you were flummoxed by the noise level of hog driver in your neighborhood, how would you approach said hog driver?
I don't think you can do that, what this guy did, which is
So how would you do it? That's what I'm asking. What would you do if, because let's be honest, not all hogs are created equal. Some are very loud. And you know the ones. You know the ones that are very, very loud. How would you go to him and say, can you please turn that down?
Like, okay, let's say he's doing it at 9:30 at night, and I got a 4-month-old that I'm trying to get to sleep, that sort of thing. I think because he's your neighbor, you don't stop him in the middle of the road. You find out where he lives and say, like, hey, if you want to do that, can you do it during the day? Can you something like that?
Sure.
You don't stop the man who's riding his bike with his children, by the way, by standing in the middle of the road and having them do a hard break. The second thing is, and this part I can understand, he said he was going too fast. Now, I live in a neighborhood and on a street that has a whole bunch of kids, and these kids all play outside. They're shooting hoops, they're throwing the football around, they're doing all this stuff. I get very upset now, because I'm a father, when cars go really fast through my street. I want to throw something at the car. I really do.
Isn't it funny how your tune changes once you're a father?
Like, if you're going 40 miles an hour on my street in my neighborhood, I
watch
might
out.
have a rock coming your
British
way.
Brett is out to get you.
Excuse me, sir.
See, it's other things that drive me crazy. I was visiting my mom and dad in North Denver, and there's this lady that comes around with ski poles and the rollerblades, and she's doing cross-country thing in the middle of the road. And one day I just lost it. I just said, what are you doing? What is this?
And it was just the look that bothered you.
I didn't want to. I was like, where are you? What is this?
Yeah, I guess rollerblades are kind of making a comeback, but if you're going to rollerblade, just rollerblade. Don't have the poles.
But then the ski poles and doing the whole traffic.
I'm not doing that.
Hey, one last thing on that British weenie, though. I think he meant to say that the noise was incessant. That's not the word he said, though.
I'd heard this incestuous revving and speeding.
Incestuous?
Incestuous.
Incestuous revving.
He must be riding in my parents' village.
I'd heard this incestuous revving and speeding through our neighborhood.
Oh. Hey, how about this? If you're introduced as a brand new head coach, we've had a few examples of these that have gone poorly. Here's one of them.
Jeff.
Did you happen to see, though, brand new Providence head coach, Brian Hodgson, and what he said at his opening press conference yesterday, Vic? So he's going through his whole spiel of why he's going to be a great coach for Providence. He's going to take them back to, being competitive. And he drops this.
I want to thank my family. Steve talked about it. My better half, my beautiful spouse here, Jordan, my son, Jet, who you'll hear plenty throughout this speech. If you ever want to question my recruiting abilities, just take a look at my wife, Jordan.
It's a real thing, by the way. I heard a coach say this once, and what do you think about this, Vic? A coach said he does not hire, I forget which coach this was. He said, I do not hire assistant coaches with ugly wives. It means that they lack confidence.
Okay.
It was a real thing that a coach said, and I can't remember who the guy was that said it. Texters, help me out. I don't hire assistant coaches with ugly wives. They lack confidence.
So who's the judge of that? Exactly. He is?
I guess him.
Or do they have like a panel that comes in?
Imagine if Moser took that approach, and I walk in with Anna Kendrick on my arm, and he's like, no chance. And I go, what do you mean no chance? Everybody thinks she's hot. What do you mean?
Who told you that?
Or what's the Hannah Waddingham? Hannah Waddingham. Because you're not on my team, not with that dog.
What about Hannah Montana?
Miley Cyrus. In that iffy category for me. Now, remember when I said after UNC lost and Hubert Davis had this press conference?
Hubert, I'll ask you the same thing I asked them. Did you sense that your team got a little bit tired there? I did not. I didn't.
Hubert, why did you go to just a six-man rotation in the second half?
Because that was my decision.
Coach, what do you think went wrong?
What do you mean?
When he had that press conference, I said, you have to fire that guy. Well, guess what, Vic? They did. They fired Hubert Davis. You can't be at UNC and go 2-2 in the first round of NCAA tournaments in 5 years. Can't do it.
See, UNC is one of those positions right now, and I know because my school is very much like that. It used to be you got to hire inside the family. No, it's not how it works. The next coach doesn't have to be a Carolina man.
I hate when colleges do that. They think that that's the missing ingredient. I was like, oh, really? So if you lived in Montana and you played for Montana State and Nick Saban wants to coach your team, not a Montana guy, no thanks.
All you do is you limit your resources. You limit your talent pool. You limit it severely.
I think it's ridiculous. And a lot of colleges think that way. A lot of them. There's a couple more clips I want to get to. We'll save them for a little bit later. I do want to get back to the Avs and Nuggets from last night. 2 wins over the weekend, or over the night last night, late into the night for the Nuggets. But they do find a way to pull that out. The Avs, who won, and if you heard from their head coach, it would not have sounded like that after the game. He was upset with the way he played. He reiterated that to us today when we talked to him at 7:40. But reminder to you guys, NCAA tournament lives on Altitude Sports Radio, and for coverage of the Sweet 16 tomorrow and Friday, you can tune in to AM 950, starting with Texas and Purdue tomorrow. The NCAA tournament and Altitude Sports Radio is powered by the Reputation Law Group, specializing in divorce and DUI matters. To schedule a consultation with these attorneys, go to the reputationlawgroup.com. Back after this.
Thinking about the mountains, thinking about upgrading, thinking about selling, thinking about finding a second home. Maybe just want to pack up and move to the mountains, whatever the property may be. It can be difficult to find the right person to help you out with that deal, but I found her. Her name is Anastasia Bell, and she's an expert at finding amazing mountain properties. Whether it is your dream home, second home, investment property, whatever it may be, ski in, ski out, and right now, you can discover exclusive Breckenridge ski chalets where private mountain living meets world-class skiing, limited, luxurious, unmistakably Breckenridge, I should say. And she knows about all of that. Her professionalism is absolutely the best. And she's been sought out by discretionary buyers for quite some time from Denver and beyond. So here's her telephone number, 970-968-7646. She'll answer right now. That number again, 970-968-7646. When you are ready to enjoy that mountain lifestyle, this is the person you need to talk to. It's Anastasia Bell.
All right, just quickly here, Vic, I found it. It was James Franklin when he was the coach at Vanderbilt back in 2012. He had a radio show, and he said, I've been saying it for a long time. I will not hire an assistant coach until I've seen his wife. If she looks the part and she's a D1 recruit, then you got a chance to get hired. That's part of the deal. He then had to apologize for saying that.
You think?
Who cares? It's his philosophy. And again, he's the judge, I suppose. Now, to the games last night. The interesting thing, the Avs win. They win 6-2. They win pretty easy. They're up 4-1 after the first. But here's Bednar postgame. And this starts the question about Wedgwood.
He was outstanding. Yeah, sloppy game from us. We capitalized on made some nice plays to score some goals, but we also beat up the puck quite a bit and had some turnovers. And, when we did that, Wedgie made some big saves. It's just that simple. He was, I think he was our best player tonight, so we'll take it. It certainly wasn't the game or the performance that we were looking for, but it's certainly the result we were looking for.
Yeah, got the win, and equally as importantly, Dallas lost. Again, you now have a 7-point lead on Dallas with a game in hand against them. If you continue to take care of business, you can get to that point where you start thinking about resting guys at the end of the year, which would be ideal.
You get to that mark where there are 4 or 5 games left, and you can experiment with your lineup and toy with resting players. And for those who say, wow, that's dangerous. Well, they did it the year they won the Cup.
Yeah. And I remember that they lost those games towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And people started freaking out. And I'm like, guys, you do understand they aren't really playing.
And then they regrouped and just stormed.
Yeah. I think that just now, getting guys back on the ice, getting chemistry with your line mates, getting guys slotted in the proper positions, that's the most important thing. And now he did tell us earlier, as far as updates, didn't mention if anybody like Lehkonen was going to be back in the lineup, but he did say Nick Waugh was going to miss, he called it sometime. It didn't sound overly concerning. It was kind of like, we're going to give him enough time to make sure he's healthy for the postseason sort of thing.
Precautionary. You can afford to do that now that you lead by 7 points.
Yeah.
And you're winning, and you are just ripe with all kinds of talent. I mean, dude, you look at this Avalanche roster.
I know. It's insane. Even last night, they're still missing guys last night. But just to go through it, this is what they trotted out there to start the game, because it's crazy. It's Landeskog, McKinnon, and Natchez, Ross Colton, Brock Nelson, and Val, Parker Kelly, Kadri, LOC, Bardakov, Drury, Kiviranta. And that's still with Lehkonen and Nick Waugh to get back in the lineup. So my assumption here, Vic, is that if those two guys get healthy, Bardakov and Kiviranta are the guys that you have to take out of the lineup. You know what I mean? The other thing here.
That's a great problem to have.
No kidding. I want to see if one of these sports books has this as far as awards at the end of the year. Because I want to see where Scott Wedgwood is in the Vesna.
He's not even in the odds. I don't get that.
He's not even in it?
He's not. I looked at one of those. Bro. He wasn't even a candidate. He wasn't a top 5 candidate in the odds, and I don't get it.
He is plus 25,000.
I don't get it.
To win the Vesna.
And he's a victim of the team's talent. That's what happens there.
So this is basically a 2-horse race. It's between Vasilevsky and Sorokin. Those are the two guys. Vasilevsky is the favorite right now. But hang on a second. You're going to tell me that now that we're like a full season into this, the leader in save percentage in the NHL is Scott Wedgwood at .916. First place. The leader in goals allowed is Scott Wedgwood at .219 per game. That guy isn't even in the remote conversation of best goalie in the league? Aren't those the two biggest statistical categories you can have? I mean, even in wins, think about how many games he's split with Mackenzie Blackwood. He's got 26. It's tied for 6th in the league. And that's him sharing a lot of time with Blackwood.
I think a lot of it, too, may be the runway. He came in when you started the season. He was your number 2, right? Or 1B, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And now he's become the 1. So maybe a lot
That's
of it is
offensive.
the perception.
I
know.
That's offensive.
Again, here you are worried too much about these postseason awards.
But he deserves it.
I know, but I just don't think it's topical right now. What's topical is getting this team to the postseason playing great hockey. All that stuff works itself out.
I get it. But that's I mean, Bednar mentioned it yesterday. He's like, Wedgwood was our best player. He bailed them out early in that game. They had turnovers galore, and he made huge saves. Yeah.
I mean, when the double minor and then the 5-on-3 and having Logan O'Connor running around there helps. When Gabriel Landeskog plays, they win.
Wait, so is this like is the Wedgwood thing the equivalent of the NBA's like 65 game rule now? It's like he didn't play enough that he's not going to be mentioned in this? Like he didn't get enough starts? Because did you see what Cade Cunningham's agent said yesterday?
Yeah, and he's got a really good point.
So here's Cade Cunningham's agent. So Cade has appeared in 61 games this year, but he's missing all this time because he's got the collapsed lung.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to fall short of that 65 game threshold for all these postseason awards, or not postseason, whatever, season long awards. He said, Cade has delivered a first-team All-NBA season. If he falls short of an arbitrary games played threshold due to legitimate injury, it should not disqualify him from the recognition he has clearly earned over the course of the season. The league should be rewarding excellence, not enforcing rigid cutoffs that ignore context, and exception needs to be made. Now, I'm sure what he's thinking, Vic, is if Cade Cunningham doesn't get the All-NBA nod, he misses out on money.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's his beef with it.
It's very much a money thing.
The agent's responsibility to care about stuff like that.
Hey, Joker can miss one more game before he falls at that 65-game threshold. You think Joker's going to play tonight in every game here on out? As much as he can?
I'm sure.
Yeah. Money's at stake.
Have a couple of those games where he plays 4 minutes and then goes to the bench? Yeah.
Yeah, money's at stake. I mean, listen, I just think the NBA, when you make these rules, you have earnest goals in mind. Sometimes they
good
just
intentions.
Don't work out. Exactly right. Sometimes you just have to tweak them. I mean, a guy lost a lung.
I know. Like, this whole thing was to stop people from sitting out back-to-backs and to stop people from...
This whole thing was the Joel Embiid rule.
Yeah.
The Joel Embiid rule. That's what it was.
They made it right after Embiid won.
That's what it was. The Joel Embiid rule.
But now it's affecting guys with legitimate injuries that keep them from getting to that threshold.
Tommy on the text line regarding why isn't Wedgwood a front runner for the Vezina? He says, well, it's the optics of being a timeshare goalie. He should call that Chuck McDowell guy. You want to get rid of your timeshare? Call Chuck McDowell.
I've been doing this for 20 years, and I got to tell you, I know how to get you out of timeshare.
Do you want to win a Vezina? Then just call this number.
Dude, that guy sounds like the last person who would be a timeshare expert. Evidently, he's very good at it.
I'll tell you how I do. We don't even go to court. I go to the guy's house. I beat the hell out of him for 15 minutes until he says you're out of it. Call me. That guy rules. I like him. He's certainly better than whatever that one ad is with that one guy with the voice. I don't know what that is. I don't like that voice at all.
2373 offers his opinion on why he's not a front runner. It's a volume of shots. Wedgwood has only made 888 saves versus some of the top goalies at 1354. He's not facing the same volume of shots.
So what? He leads the league.
Love college basketball?
No!
Gear up for another exciting season of college.
Oh,
see,
no.
That guy should be the voice of your timeshare.
I agree with you. And you know what? I think if they flipped roles,
it'd be perfect. Greg McDowell, is it Chuck McDowell? First of all, Chuck McDowell sounds like an earnest fella. I'd buy anything from Chuck McDowell.
That's a trustworthy guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to run off. He's not going to run off with your money.
I don't the guy you just play. I don't know if I trust his voice.
Play that again. Play it again.
Love college basketball? Gear
you
up
aren't
for
trusting
another
this
exciting...
weasel. No.
There's no way that guy talks to his family and friends like that.
Hey,
There's no way.
Vic, trust me. I got a really good parlay. You just give me $5,000. I'm going to put it. You can't trust that guy. Oh,
Hey,
wait,
we gotta
wait.
get Greg McDowell to do a double dipperoo for
I know
us.
that texture. That's so perfect. If we get, what's his name, Nelly?
Chuck McDowell?
Chuck McDowell? If we get Chuck McDowell to give us a double dipperoo.
It'll make our week.
Yeah.
Speaking of sharing time, it's a double dipperoo tonight.
The Nuggets are back at it tonight, 8 o'clock. The Dallas Mavericks are in town. And before we go down the road to the scheduling snafu, and I know I'm going to fight people on this, and that's fine. I'm prepared. I do want to discuss last night's win in Phoenix. They've swept the Suns this season, 3-0. Last night was the toughest of the three. They surrendered an 8-point lead with 3 minutes to play. So the cynic in you might say, why can't they hold a late lead?
Yeah.
The
That's me.
optimist may say they figured out a way to win a close game. They're now 17-17. By the way, is it 17? Hold on, let me see. Dan sent it to me. In these clutch games, one possession game with 5 minutes left. Denver in the clutch this season. Here we go. Oh, they're 19-19. But in the clutch last night, they had a negative rating. In the clutch.
Yeah.
When the game gets past the 5-minute mark, they had a negative rating. So they did not play their best basketball late.
No, they were up 8 with 3 minutes left.
Yeah. Yeah, and they held on for dear life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Well, defensively, their defensive rating in the clutch, the last 5 minutes, close games, is 125.1, which is the second worst defensive rating in the NBA in clutch games. If you're wondering what concerns me going into the playoffs, it's that.
Yep.
The number one concern. That's it. It's not scoring. Scoring's never been a problem with this team. But I also think because they can score so easily that sometimes deep down in the subconscious, sometimes you're like, it's fine. We'll make it up on the other side.
Yeah, we give up a bucket, we'll make it back. We're fine.
I really believe that plays a factor. You may think, no, I do. Because it's so easy on that side, they don't dig in on the defensive side. That rating in the clutch, guess what it's going to do? You're going to lose to the great teams.
Sure.
You can beat a Phoenix with that. You'll beat a Phoenix. You ain't going to beat OKC with that.
Do you know who's really annoying, by the way? Really annoying, but I would love to have him on this team. Grayson Allen drives me nuts. But he's good.
He took some shots last night that I was like, what are you doing? Why are you pulling up with 20 seconds on the shot clock from 40 feet?
Because he can knock those down, though.
I don't know.
Is it what he was at one point leading the league in 3-point percentage?
Tell you who doesn't get enough play for them, who I've always admired as a role player, is Royce O'Neal.
I thought that forever. I think his game is because he was in Utah for a long time, right? Initially. I think he was part of that Gobert, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell team.
Yeah.
And it's like that he's taking a really good game. Man, I got to see this real quick, though. Grayson Allen. Driving me nuts.
Love college basketball?
No, stop.
Chuck McDowell. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment?
Timeshare goalie. Next time Moser sees Wedgwood, hey, what's up, timeshare goalie?
Okay, as I was trying to find this, you want to hear something that's going to blow your mind? Did you know that Cam Johnson is 9th in the league in 3-point percentage?
He shoots with accuracy, and I want him personally. I want him to shoot more.
But for as much as people thought that Cam Johnson was having this miserable year, he's 9th in the NBA in 3-point percentage.
But how many attempts? See, the misery, I guess, the story is not necessarily what he's shooting. It's shoot.
Yeah, he averages 4.6 per game.
I want him at 7 or 8.
Jamal's right behind him. He's 10th in the league in 3-point percentage. He takes 7.3. Yeah, just shoot him more. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr., dude, shoots 7 a game. And he's at 41%. I'm with you. It's funny because Cam Johnson, it's like, oh, he's had a pretty bad year. It's like, well, he's 9th in the league in 3-point percentage. Yeah. Not all that bad.
I tell you what, he had a great second half last night. He had 0 points at halftime.
Yeah.
0. What did he finish with, 14?
It sounds right. I don't get it pulled up right now.
Games with 15-plus rebounds and 15-plus assists, which Joker got to 17 last night in both of those categories. Games this season, Nikola Jokic has had 3 of them. The rest of the NBA combined has had 2.
Yeah, of course.
So when I say we become numb with Joker's numbers, that's what I mean. It's so ridiculous. He's so good. He's so effective. He's so efficient.
You're bored by excellence with him. It's bizarre. 303-504-0925 back after this.
Hey, you thinking about upgrading your patio? Some patio furniture maybe this summer? Do you want a pizza oven? You ever sit there at night saying, gosh, I wish I had a pizza oven? They got those. They got everything at Flatirons Fire and Design. They specialize, given the name, in fireplaces, the gas, the electric, the modern, classic, you name it. They do it the right way. Whatever you buy there from their showroom, they'll send a crew out. They'll assemble it for you. They assembled my sauna, and from beginning to end, it took 2 days, and they did it perfectly. I didn't move an inch. Right now, Altitude Sports listeners, you get a great deal, 10 to 15% off all fireplaces. Just mention Vic, mention I sent you, and stay warm whenever it does get cold, because you know it's going to get cold at some point. Visit flatironsfire.com online, or go to their showroom off 53rd and Bannock, North I-25.
All right, get to keys to the game in just a little bit. Vic, I have this on the soundboard. I don't know what you want to do with this. It's Rick Pitino halftime speeches. Is there something you wanted to do with that?
Oh, I just thought it was crazy at halftime of a game. If you played that today, I want to hear how people would react to this. If a coach told you this, a modern day coach told you this, or your kid this, how would you react to his words? I'm just curious. I'm just curious how you're wired and what you would get in response.
So this is like a documentary following St. John's this year. Is that what this is?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So this is I think this is like a couple of halftime speeches. But here you go.
Dig in and be a basketball player. Dig in. Every time you miss a shot, your game deflates. We don't care about your missed shots. Play defense. You guys keep blowing opportunity upon opportunity upon opportunity. You're like children with bad things happening. Instead of digging in and be tougher, you wilt. Where is your toughness? Where have you guys been raised that you're so weak mentally that you just give up when something doesn't go right for you? Don't you know what adversity is all about? That's the game of life, not the game of basketball. You don't get down when things go wrong. You dig in and get tougher. Your whole life's gonna be adversity. Learn how to deal with it.
I don't think there's anything crazy about that.
Well,
you think
when he hints at where were you raised, that can be a little
maybe
that can be rough.
I don't think that anybody look if you're doing that to a 12-year-old team, yeah, there's probably an issue you're gonna have with that. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that for college kids, though. Do you?
Oh, I guarantee there are people that listen to that speech just now that are seething. I would never play for that coach. I guarantee you, they want the soft-spoken, let's work with the fellas, rather than, here's how it is. Adversity is part of it.
Well,
it's part of it.
Coaches
and it goes back, the reason I bring it up, Rick Pitino makes a great point about weathering the storm and how strong mentally are you. I'll give you a case in point. The Nuggets were dealt a horrible hand with this schedule. How mentally strong can you be tonight with very little sleep? When you arrived at home at 4:30 a.m., you probably got to bed at 5, and you play a second game tonight, very much like the game in Memphis. How mentally strong can you be? How can you weather that adversity?
Yeah.
Two things can be true, which is why I want people to understand the difference between the two. A, the strong teams, mentally strong teams, they find a way. B, the fact that the NBA put the Nuggets in this position 4 times this season, more than any other team by far, is wrong. It's a scheduling snafu.
Yeah.
They messed up. And they're learning new things with this new schedule because of the contracts with the national television these national television networks are dictating this.
Sure.
That's who's dictating this. Peacock wanted the Nuggets at 9 p.m. last night. Okay, fine. You want them at 9 p.m., great. Don't give them a back-to-back.
Yeah, or if they have to have a back-to-back, do it later. Not the night after a 9 o'clock tip. Like, so I don't get
both things can be true. I can say to you, Brett Kane, what the NBA's done with this schedule is a joke.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It ruins the competitive balance. It's unfair. I can also say to you, be mentally strong.
Well,
weather the storm.
And especially, this, it's not like you're playing OKC tonight. I'll remind you guys, Dallas has won 2 games in a month. Okay? They've been stacking up L's like crazy. The team stinks.
100%. Yep.
So even with that, I will tell you, the Nuggets absolutely should win tonight.
Because guess what? At the end of the night tonight, nobody's going to care about the fact they got in at 4:30 in the morning. They're going to care about the final score.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to care about. And I understand that. I do. But there has to be some layers to this. And the layer is, why 4 times this season have the Nuggets been subject to this ridiculous back-to-back situation where they lose an hour and they get in bed at 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Why? It can be avoided easily. And I hear, oh, well, the schedule's complicated. Really? Let me go back to that Memphis game. So they go to Memphis from Milwaukee Because of snow in Memphis, they get screwed out of that game. They spend 3 days in Memphis for no reason. And what the NBA does to reward them, they give them another game in Memphis on the second game of a back-to-back.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
It literally, like, I hate to go here. They would not do that if that was the Lakers. They wouldn't.
Well, I'm going to give the Lakers credit here.
LeBron would complain.
The Lakers played a similar game where they played in the Central Time Zone, won, had to travel to Miami the next night, lost an hour on the second game of back-to-back, and beat the Heat. They had to labor through it. But guess what? They haven't done it 4 times like the Nuggets.
Yeah.
4 times. That's 4 games that can affect the final seedings. I mean, that's a big deal.
Speaking of, let's get to this.
Do whatever it takes to win.
It's the Johnson Auto Plaza keys to the game. Johnson Auto Plaza. Experience the power of the plaza, where they have the keys to performance and style with Ram, Jeep, Chevy, Buick, and GMC, and a huge selection of used all in one place.
Johnson Auto Plaza.
Here's Moser, Lombardi, and Kane.
Keys to the game, 8 o'clock tonight. Mavs and Nuggets, Vic.
Well, the key to the game is to get plenty of rest. Somebody alerted us because I guess they see him at school every morning. Nikola Jokic is up and at him. He dropped his kid off at school. He's ready to go. No excuses from a basketball standpoint. I'm not here to build in excuses because this is the job that was given to you. You got to win a game tonight in tough circumstances. Mentally, you got to overcome it. Do I understand that you're at a major disadvantage? Hell yeah, you are. But start early. If you get into this lull early and give Dallas a chance, that can be costly.
Yeah.
Get off to the fastest start you can. And, to be honest with you, I would love to see David Adelman lean on his younger bench players a little more.
Strother.
Knowing full well that that a rough go at it. Play some of those younger guys. Give them some minutes tonight just to give them an injection of energy.
Yeah. Keys to the game, powered by Johnson Auto Plaza. You get selection, service, and incredible savings on Ram, Jeep, Chevy, Buick, and GMC, all at one location. Experience the power of the plaza at Johnson Auto Plaza. So, again, that game is at 8 o'clock tonight right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Just a couple of quick notes from the NFL. You see that Zach Wilson found a new home. He is now a New Orleans Saint.
So we're at 10 now. 10, we had this conversation yesterday. 10 former Broncos quarterbacks who are still in the league.
Joe Flacco also signed yesterday, another former Bronco quarterback. He's in Cincinnati.
Can you name the 10?
Okay, so
we went through this list yesterday.
Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco. It is. Did we say was Rippon still in the league?
That I don't know.
He's with the Vikings.
Yes, Rippon, Brandon Allen, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock. That's 6. Who am I missing? Case Keenum.
Josh Johnson.
Yep.
And essentially, he's not out of the league yet. Russell Wilson is still going to play football.
Yeah.
Last we checked.
I feel like we're forgetting one.
Zach Wilson, Russell Wilson, abbreviation. Joe Flacco, Trevor Siemian.
Trevor Siemian, that's right. Yep. Trevor Siemian's the other one.
Teddy Bridgewater.
By the way, here's the quote from Flacco. Now, remember, Flacco's 41, I think? 41. So he signs in with Cincinnati. If you remember, or he isn't mad about re-signing with the Bengals on a one-year deal, but if it was up to him, he could be competing for a starting job. He's upset that he's not getting a chance to be a starter somewhere. And what he said was, believe me, I wish I was a guy somewhere, and I think teams are dumb for not having me be that guy. Not being one of those guys to sign somewhere, it pisses me off a little bit, but at the same time, I'm very happy to be here in Cincinnati. So he's going to back up Burrow, which if you've followed the Burrow career, there's a decent chance you're probably going to start a few games. He's having trouble staying healthy. But is Flacco actually surprised that he's not being signed on as a starter? Like at this point in his career, he still thinks he's that? He feels like a perfect spot duty guy.
I mean, is it misplaced confidence? What are you saying?
Flacco's
I think
realize
he loves the game.
Well, no,
you know what? Maybe he doesn't want to go home.
Well, think about this for a second. Joe Flacco, I think we can all kind of agree, Joe Flacco's not starting caliber anymore, right? I mean, he's been in this league since 2008. He's an old man, 41 years old. He went to, he started in Cleveland last year, had 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He got traded over to Cincinnati. Then he finished with 13-4, which isn't bad, I suppose. I just don't get it. I think, it's maybe misplaced confidence here. I don't think anybody's saying to themselves, you know what, we got a pretty good team. If only we could add Joe Flacco, then we'd be fine. I like Flacco. Like I said, I think he's a perfect backup. But still, just a very, very odd statement that he's pissed that nobody gave him a shot. So there's a couple of bits of NFL news there, as I'm still wondering with the Broncos with this cap space if they're going to do something with this.
Yeah, I need to know how much, ask your computer this, how much money is required for a rookie draft class, given how many draft picks they have. And that could change if they make any trades during the draft week, obviously. But usually, how much money is required to sign your rookies? Because they have to set that aside. They've already redone a couple deals to loosen up more money. And a lot of times you're like, wow, I wonder why they're doing that. Do they have other ideas planned?
So this is the example that they gave me for 2024. This is the draft in which they had Bo Nix and Jonah Ellis and Troy Franklin and a whole bunch of other picks. I think 7 total. They said it cost them $4.7 million for that draft class.
That's it?
That was it. It was $4.7 million in effective salary cap space to sign their
so based on
7 draft players.
Rough numbers, the Broncos will still have about $6 million plus to work with here.
Oh, more than that.
More?
Yeah, you aren't having a first or third round pick. You only have a handful of
$8
picks.
million. $8 million to work with.
I think it's probably closer to 11 or 12. Because they got like $16 million in cap space right now. Well, I'm just saying, pick the difference.
I'm just trying to.
No, I get it. But you get like $11, $12 million, you can get a player.
Hey, I want to ask you what you think about the NFL competition committee. And I think, correct me if I'm mistaken, I think Sean Payton is on the competition committee.
I think he is too.
He is, because he's the one that wanted to keep the tush push alive.
Yeah.
So they're proposing some changes to the rules that they're going to consider next week at the league meetings. Tell me about each of these. Tell me what you think.
Gotcha.
Number 1, permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any moment during the game.
Yeah, I don't know why they're reserving that just for the final 2 minutes or whatever. I think if you want to do an onside, onside.
Why not?
Yeah.
Totally agree. If I want to do it if I want to do it to start the game, why not?
Right.
It can only hurt me if it doesn't work.
So I'm saying it's such a low percentage play, you're only hurting yourself. And there's no surprise onsides anymore, so what's the difference?
So we agree there.
Yes.
All right. Number 2, eliminate the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50-yard line. You've seen this before, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of a flaw in the rule.
Uh-huh.
DMac brought this up a couple times last year, where you kick it out of bounds from the 50, and they can only bring it back to the 20?
Something like that, because
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So eliminate that.
I agree.
Number 3, modify the kicking alignment requirements for the receiving team in the setup zone. That's when it becomes a bit vague. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'll pass for not understanding. I don't know.
I don't know what kicking alignments they have right now.
Are they just talking about lining up 5 yards apart and then waiting? I don't know.
All I see is bodies smashing into each other when the ball's caught. Whatever.
I pass.
Yeah, do what you want there. Number 4, allow league personnel to consult with on-field officials when considering disqualifications for both flagrant football acts and non-football acts without being called on the field. It's a lot of words.
So they get help from people up top?
So
sure.
Somebody help out the officials. I've never had a problem with someone helping.
Yeah. No skin off my teeth.
Hey,
go ahead.
You want to come and help me with my sprinklers? Come and help.
Yeah.
NFL, you want to put that in the rule changes? Let's go.
Yep.
Number 5, last one. For 1 year only, allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses by on-field officials that impact the game.
Why is this
in the
for
event
1
of a
year
work
only?
stoppage involving the game officials represented?
They're talking about this is protection for no more Hail Marys with replacement refs. This is
So
for 1 year.
only?
If we don't get our usual referees in there, they will get help on obvious missed calls by guys who aren't professionals.
Okay, but see, that seems silly to me because what if it works? Because even the regular refs, they're not flawless. You're going to have some mistakes.
I don't know why. Yeah, I kind of agree with
Are
you.
they too proud? Is it come down, we don't want to be second-guessed by Big Brother in the sky?
Replacement refs or not, it's like if you get something obviously wrong, have somebody buzz in and correct it. I don't think that should be a 1 year thing. I think that should be every year. What do they call that? The sky judge or whatever? Like, yeah, have that guy help. He's got a million TVs around him.
All right, Brett Kane, I'll ask you right now, if you got to implement one rule change to bring to the NFL competition committee, what would it be?
Easy. Pass interferences are 15 yards. There's
no more
50-yard penalty that exists. There's
So
no
you
more
want the
35-yard
college
penalty.
rule.
Yes. I get it. Like, in doing that, you could incentivize a corner who's been beat for potentially a big touchdown to make that just tackle the guy. I get it. I think you could do like a flagrant sort of thing where if somebody intentionally does that, then it's a spot foul. But you can't give up 40-yard penalties in this league. Can't do it.
I got one rule change that I would love to see. Move the goalpost back to the front of the end zone just to see more crashes.
You know what? That is the most striking thing.
Think about how insane that was back in the day. Just think about the insanity of having – and back then, there were 2 posts, not one.
Yeah.
Just think about 2 large posts emanating from the ground in the place where you're trying to score at full speed.
I'm telling you right now, it is less shocking to me to watch people in those old videos playing football without helmets than it is watching people run into goalposts in the end zone. And that nobody thought to themselves, maybe we should push this back a bit. Maybe we should get this out of the field of play.
It's the funniest thing ever.
Well, do you remember, it wasn't like in the middle of the field, but the Astros in their place, they had the pole that was inside the fence. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And so guys are running up that hill
I do
and
remember
get
that.
center field
and
with
it got really
a
ugly.
pole there.
Yeah. I think that coaches, smart offensive coaches, would just understand how to use the 2 posts as an extra defender. All right, listen. Run a button hook to the left post. Circle around it.
Just keep running around the post. We'll find the window. It's like those games that you see at the circus where you got to shoot the bottles that are moving. It's like, once you find him in that open window, throw it. I totally agree. Why did you miss that play? I hit the post.
I got killed by a large pole.
So stupid. 303-504-0925. You can listen to us anywhere on the Altitude Sports Radio app. It is powered by the Will Hite Law Firm. Injury lawyers, go to willhitewins.com. That's willhitewins.com. I was almost late, Vic. I had to get this. You're going to love it.
Why? What happened?
I had to get my sourdough. Look at that. Look at that beautiful hunk of bread.
Oh, yes!
From the Shockey family?
Yes.
It's good stuff.
I'll tell you what,
good stuff.
if you don't react that way to a nice hunk of sourdough, you aren't human.
Oh, yeah.
A couple questions from the text line. Nuggets, second game of back-to-back tonight. 8 o'clock start, Mavericks. We talked about the schedule. Chris on the text line, does the NBA give teams a chance to weigh in on scheduling quirks? Yeah, they do. They don't necessarily react the way you'd hope, but you can call and complain. You can voice your opinion. But when the schedule's scheduled, you're done.
Yeah.
Ain't no change in that. Another question, why are there any back-to-backs at all? Well, because the schedule, you would never be able to get the entire 82-game season in before April, 13th, when the play-in season starts.
Yep.
The only way to eliminate back-to-backs and play 82 games is to lengthen the schedule itself, the calendar. You'd have to play from October 1st to July 4th.
No, thank you.
Okay? Here's another one. Quit complaining about tonight's game. They have plenty of time to rest. Just curiously, I'll ask you this question. If one elite athlete goes to bed at midnight and sleeps until 10, another elite athlete goes to bed at 5 a.m., wakes up, takes his kid to school, whatever, and wakes up at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Are those athletes expected to perform at the exact same level for tip-off that night?
I think you would be foolish to think so.
Okay. So when I say they stop complaining, they're playing, rest is relative. It's relative. How's your body affected by the change in time? What's that, the circadian, what's that thing called?
Circadian rhythms?
Yeah, what the hell is that? What is a circadian rhythm? How is that affected? Whatever that is. And while we're on the topic, and you want to get your blood going before the game.
A circadian rhythm is a natural internal 24-hour clock that regulates the sleep-wake cycle, hormone release, appetite, and body temperature.
Okay. Will they have the proper hormonal release tonight after getting it at 4:30 a.m.?
That I don't know. But it certainly it affects them. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Now, is it an excuse if they lose tonight? No, because Dallas is terrible. They should still win. But
hey, either way, if the Nuggets lose, your blood will be boiling one way or another. Yep. Which brings me to this. Blood donations are needed every day to help patients in Colorado. So join Vitalant and the Nuggets to save lives this March. Schedule your donation at vitalant.org/Denver Nuggets or any Vitalant donation center during the month of March. And that word is a perfect descriptor. A Vitalant Nuggets team is what's necessary tonight on Little Sleep.
A couple things here before we get out. I cannot wait for this month to end so I can stop with your transitions.
I've heard from people say that the transitions to Vitalant have been the pinnacle of the 3-hour radio show. They can't wait for it. I've heard some people say that.
In your head?
No, I've had people stop me on the street saying, hey, I listen to the entire show only to get that transition.
Of course, yeah.
Those of us who are wealthy should be promoting Anastasia Bell, not Mark Moser. Dude, I also was told that Anastasia Bell got several calls after I did that read yesterday.
Just a couple of things here real quick. First of all, I noticed when you were going through those the NFL rule changes, none of those involve the tush push. Mm-hmm. There will be no discussions. The tush push is back. It will probably stay here forever, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. If it's not banned by now, then it's just not going to get banned. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
Here's the next. I had somebody text this in multiple times today. I did not hear this, but he said, when are you guys going to talk about DMac saying let Mims go for a third rounder?
I would never let Mims go for anything right now. You're in that window. Why? Unless you get a proven tight end as part of the return, maybe. But why would you give up on talent? The guy's the best. He's the preeminent return man in the game. What are we doing?
I'm going to say this again. This depends on what they see Mims as. just hypothetically, if you get a third-round pick for a return man, that's incredible return. Like, that's insane. Now, if you value him as both and you think he's going to be both a returner and a receiver, different discussion. But it depends on how they value him. I think about the greatest returners that you can think of, like a Dante Hall. Vic, if you were the Chiefs back in the day, would you trade Dante Hall for a third-round pick? I think you'd consider it if that's all he is a return guy. I mean, you're talking about, at best, let's really break this down. He's very, very good at what he does in the return game. There is no question about it. But if you just want to break down a simple, statistical sort of look at this, as far as punt returns, Marvin Mims took 34. That is an average of less than 2 times per game. He takes a punt return. Now, very effective at it. He averages 14 yards per return. He put a touchdown in there, but it's less than twice a game he touches the ball. Even on kickoffs, 59 total returns. He didn't even take all of them. 59 returns on a kickoff comes out to what? 3 a game? So you're talking 4 total touches, let's say. Is that worth it if he's strictly a return guy, just by the numbers? That's all I'm saying. There's plenty of teams that were really good in this league that didn't have a super special return guy. I'm not saying it's not important, but when you break this down as you can't lose his return value, it's 3 to 4 times a game he touches the ball.
Who was the return guy for the Chicago Bears those years? That's
Hester.
a Hall of Famer, yeah. So I brought up this whole Mims thing, and Dempsey made a great point last night. He said, well, what if Marvin is just Devin Hester? What, you try and force him into the offense, and it doesn't work for whatever reason.
Here's the problem. They tried with that. Devin Hester was a corner, and then he moved to wide receiver, and he couldn't do really either of those.
But Mims is proven.
But Mims is good.
Yeah, he's produced.
Yeah. That's
He's
the
produced.
difference. He's not Dante Hall. He's not Devin Hester. He's not, who's another one? Who's the dude from Michigan? Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard in the NFL, strictly a returner. Didn't play really any offense.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys don't really exist anymore. Return specialists. I don't think people like reserving a roster spot for a guy who does just that one thing. Used to be, not anymore.
Buck, I can't read the rest of your title on Twitch regarding the rest thing in tonight's game with the Nuggets. Buck writes in, this is stupid. There's a difference between rest and sleep. They're getting plenty of rest before the game. If they don't take advantage of sleep, that's on them. Buck, I'm going to ask you a question. Game tips off at 8. If you go through your normal sleep pattern and you sleep the night before and you go through would you have a distinct advantage over someone who goes to bed at 6 a.m. and wakes up at 2 p.m.? Which body do you think will be more ready for that game that night? Which body?
I'll tell you what.
I mean, seriously, am I speaking to third graders?
Here's what people, this is the problem, Vic.
And who am I speaking to? Who's the audience right now?
Hang on. I'll tell you who it is.
If you can't understand the difference between the two, have you slept?
Here's the difference. The difference is these people are not acknowledging the point that you're trying to make, that it's a competitive thing. Here's what they hear.
It's not about feeling sorry for pro athletes making millions.
Hearing.
I don't care about that. It's about competitive edge, balance of the schedule. If it's imbalanced one way or another, that's not fair.
What you say is this is a competitive disadvantage to the Nuggets overall at a very important juncture of the season and the schedule.
Yes.
And what they hear is, why are you feeling sorry for the millionaires? That's
Let me tell you something. Will we be mad if the Nuggets lose tonight? You're damn right. Were we mad after they lost to Memphis? You're damn right I was mad. I was mad because you got to be mentally strong enough to overcome all of that. I agree with you. But why do you have to overcome anything? Why put him in that situation? If you schedule a 9 p.m. tip-off and it actually tipped at 9:13, the simple solution is not to give him a back-to-back.
Yeah.
It's so easy. That's my argument.
I just saw something, by the way. Did you know maybe we can start flying like the Nuggets do? See what United's going to roll out next year?
Dude, I saw that, and don't think I haven't made use of that. You ever been in those planes where they're half empty and you get the whole row to yourself? Come on,
so
baby.
United said you can, starting next year, buy an entire row. It's called the United Relax Row. It's 3 adjacent seats with adjustable leg rests that can be raised or lowered to create a cozy lie flat space if you want to stretch out and lay down. So you also get a mattress pad, a blanket, 2 pillows. If you're traveling with kids, you get a plushie.
What's a
little stuffed animal thing.
You get a stoat and a silver medal.
Yes, of course.
You get everything that the Canadian team disposed of. They picked them up. You're getting them on United.
It said the Relax Row will be available starting next year on more than 200 of their 787s and 777s, each with up to 12 of these brand new rows.
Yeah,
I got to
tell
tell
you.
you.
Sucker going to cost you? How much is that going to cost?
God, that's what I was thinking, though.
You know
like,
what I mean?
what,
You're buying
what's
3
the
seats,
price
baby.
here? Like, as much as that sounds nice, especially like I got 2 kids traveling with 2 kids.
$12,000.
I can't imagine what that price is. Forget first class. I mean, goodness. I also like, if you're a grown adult by yourself buying a row and laying down on an airplane, grow up. Grow up. It's for children, okay? You can use the leg rest. That's fine.
Wait a minute. You've never laid down across all 3 seats?
No, I haven't curled up like a little kitty in an airplane row.
But you've never flown overseas either.
That's true. Yeah.
Your longest trip was
I
to
had
the
a flight
Caribbean.
that was like 5 hours.
Yeah, try going to Japan one day or go to Europe and see if you get tired just standing like this, sitting like this.
The leg rest is fine. You don't need to lay down. Nelly, fact checker.
Nelly monitors the mistakes in today's Fact Checker. Fact Checker. Presented by Backus and Shanker. Serious lawyers for the seriously injured.
Every year in the Mojis, we have a category that is called Vic Not Listening. But Vic, I wanted to let you know, you are not alone. Misery loves company. Here's a little snippet from the morning sprint yesterday.
Joel Zumaya, do you remember that name? The longtime Detroit Tigers closer. He had a really great goatee, Joel Zumaya. Missed, I want to say, the better part of a season because he got a tendon injury in his right hand from playing Guitar Hero too much.
1 minute later. This is going to be a blast of the past for some of us here. Detroit Tigers relief pitcher Joel Zumaya suffered inflammation in his throwing wrist and forearm from playing Guitar Hero on PlayStation 2.
How long after did he throw that in?
Legit, it was about a minute.
Whoa.
See how that sounds?
I am absolved of all sins.
No. Hey, I committed murder, but so did that guy, so that means mine's okay.
See, you know what that's a reflection of? And the reason why guys like Sanford and myself, we do that is because you guys, you and Raj, you're so boring and monotone that we really don't pay attention to you.
Nope, it's because you're texting somebody on the text line.
That's a good point. That too.
Yeah. iTunes, Spotify, Moser, Lombardi, and Kane. Have a great Wednesday. Talk to you tomorrow. Love you. See you.
12 on the shot clock. Gets a pick from Jokic, 10. Goes to the right hand, throws it off over to Joker from 8. Jumper's good! Denver leads it by 2, 125 to 123. Booker throws it on the right side to O'Neal. O'Neal hands it off over to Booker. Booker for the win. Missed it! Rebound O'Neal, and there's the horn! The Denver Nuggets sweep away the Phoenix Suns. Final tonight from the Valley. 125 Denver, 123 Phoenix.
And I can say right now on Sunday, March 8th at 3:03 p.m. Mountain Spring, the Central Division is over. It's done. That's it. Colorado's got the 1 seed. It's over.
It's over. Colorado can't clear, but now they do. McKinnon pokes it away from Witherspoon. McKinnon on a breakaway, hook from behind. McKinnon, he shoots and scores! The Mac attack is back, Jack! 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. That is it. Avs get red hot on ice. And they even the season series with the Pittsburgh Penguins by a final score of 6-2. It's over.
I may have been early, but I wasn't wrong. I'll tell you that for free. Avs come back with a big win. Nuggets in a late matchup with the Phoenix see a lead dwindle in the final 3 minutes, but they find a way to get it done. They don't get back to Denver till like 6 o'clock this morning, something crazy like that. And they have to play Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks later on tonight at Ball Arena as we welcome you into the morning sprint. Coming off of a quad win of the double dipperoos over the weekend, we get yet another double dipperoo and a double winaroo last night between the Avs and the Nuggets. We will get into the Nuggets in a little bit. Another triple-double for Nikola Jokic, his 36th of the season. That's all nice and fine and dandy, Coach.
That was a great basketball game.
Great basketball game.
That was one of my favorite wire-to-wire basketball games of this Nuggets season so far. Fantastic basketball
We
game.
will get into that momentarily. We're going to be joined by Chris Dempsey in 15 minutes to break that game down, as well as preview tonight's quick turnaround against the Mavericks and whether or not Denver can actually make an outside run at this 3-seed thing. But we'll start with the ice, and we'll start with the Avs exacting revenge on the Pittsburgh Penguins last night, scoring 4 goals in the first period. The power play buzzes yet again. Marty Necas with another goal. Nathan McKinnon gets his 46th of the year. And what do we get to see? We get to see Logan O'Connor back in the lineup and making an impact like that.
The mayor's back, huh? It was great to see that. It was great to see 33% on the power play, and the trends continued to go towards positive juju in the postseason. There's no doubt about it. And to do that on the road against a team that you'd had a funky game against. What was that? How long ago was the last game against the Pens?
8 days.
8 days.
9 days today.
9 days ago. To be able to answer the call, I thought the kung fu tender was goofy at times, wedgy,
but great.
Like the replay, the challenge that was negated.
The Brazeau goal.
Brazeau goal was you got to see the calisthenics of one Scott Wedgwood.
Who knows what goaltender interference is? It felt like Devon Taves kind of pushed Brazeau into Wedgwood, but we've seen that call go against the Avs so many times this year. That
namely last year's playoff series against the Stars. Do you remember that?
When it happened, I was like, I think it's going to be overturned, but nobody knows what goaltender interference is anymore. Wedgwood makes a couple of stellar saves. He makes one on Sheenikov on a 2-on-1 with his blocker. He makes another glove save on a younger player on the Penguins. I can't exactly remember his name. Late last night, I think we were 18 or something. It makes a glove save in the second period on this player. It was it Tommy Novak? Ben Kindell, 81. Ben Kindell makes the save on. Wedgwood has been awesome. And we obviously know the counting stats. Number 1 in save percentage, number 1 in goals against average. He's top 10 in goals saved above expected. He's top 10 in expected goals against average. And he's not in the Vezina conversation, which it's infuriating to me. It's infuriating to Avs fans out there. I guess I understand why.
Break down hockey subjective awards for me. Because you say he's not in the conversation. Is that the conversation according to the talking heads, or is that the actual tangible? Is there any...
NHL.com comes out with a much like the Bontemps straw poll for the MVP in the NBA, they will go and they'll canvas voters around the league and be like, hey, this is who's like leading the conversation.
It's legit. It's not just
conjecture.
It's not just the talking heads in the hockey space are saying you just name significant netminders from the last several years and the guys that are having the best year, like Vasilevsky, he's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, well, Vasilevsky's going to be
He's
likely the Vezina winner, and Sorokin's going to be up there as well. And like Wedgwood, it's looking like he's not even going to be a finalist for this thing, and he's been sensational all year. It pisses me off, but like Blackwood's been pretty good too. We were talking about this on Between the Pipes, man. I don't think it's a goaltending controversy at all. You have a really tough decision to make, and it's not for me. It's not Wedgwood or Blackwood. It's, do you go in with a starter, or do you just continue what you've been doing all season long? Go into the playoffs and ham and egg these goalies. Opposite starts, even in the playoffs.
Would you agree that actually kind of fits with Bedsy's vibe?
Yeah.
Because Bedsy's he's not one of these coaches that, certainly you talk to him. I listened to the radio program this morning on the Jared Bednar show on Moser, Lombardi, and Kane. It was
chaos as they were getting onto the flight to get to Winnipeg.
I was like, all my people are in the background right now. Connor McGahee. No, I'm just playing. I don't think they were in the background, but you could just tell that Jared Bednar's he's not a stringent type of a leader that is just going to be stuck on, like, this is how we're going to do it. And like, I think that he is open to frankly, clearly he's open to it because he's been doing it all year with the, hey, just go with the feel.
Treat it like your Pee-wee goalies.
Yep.
You get the start on Monday, you get the start on Wednesday, the other guy gets the start on Friday, and we have a couple of rules. Like, if you play really bad one night, maybe you don't get the next start. But if you play really good on a given night and you shut a team out, maybe you do get the next
Have you looked into the numbers on home versus away performance for Scott Wedgwood and Mackenzie Blackwood at Ball Arena versus away from Ball Arena? Because that might be something that, I don't know, that might be a little bit of a weird thought process there. But
Wedgie's splits this year, he is 13-1-3 at home. He is 13-4-3 on the road.
That was Wedgie?
That was Wedgwood. 13-1-3 at home, 13-4-3 on the road. Mackenzie Blackwood this season, his splits at home and road are, give me one moment, Coach.
And win loss. Go ahead.
He's 11-3-1 on the road. He is 9-5-0 at home.
We have our answer.
Wedgie. So Wedgie gets the home starts and
Wedgie's
Blackwood gets the road starts.
Yeah, why not?
I'm okay with that, man.
Cool.
So we dove into this on Between the Pipes last night, Coach, because it is very unconventional. Like, it doesn't happen. The whole goal is to figure out like who your starter is going into the postseason. And the only time that I've seen a team this dominant in the regular season in recent memory with two goalies that were like kind of the same guy was the 22-23 Bruins, who famously had 135 points in the regular season, the most ever. And then they lost in 7 games to the Florida Panthers. Devastating in the first round. Linus Ullmark was one of their two goalies. Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman, the third netminder for Team USA this year at the Olympics. Only once during the regular season did Linus Ullmark ever start 6 consecutive games. And it happened when Swayman was injured at the beginning of the season. Now, he did great. He won 6 of those 7 games. Like, Keith Kincaid came in and played a couple. I think Keith Kincaid played a few games for the Avs in recent seasons, too. The only time he ever did it was at the beginning of the season when Swayman was injured. In fact, in the final 25 games of the season, only one time did Boston not alternate games exactly with the two players. Ullmark started like back-to-back after, I think Swayman got like pulled, and then they played Ullmark because he had like relatively fresh legs in the next game. 25 straight games going to the postseason. They went ham, egg, A, B, A, B. They get to the postseason. Ullmark plays 6 straight games. They blow a 3-1 lead, and going into Game 7, they throw Jeremy Swayman into Game 7. They lose 4-3 in overtime.
Too little, too late.
I don't know if it's too little, too
I'm
late.
saying
It's
in
like,
that case.
for Swayman?
You had made the decision to deviate from what you've done all season
Right.
long, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, we got to change this up. Let's put it back in Swayman's in his hands. Nope. it was too little, too late. And Swayman then, I don't
Roll
know
the dice.
because Bedsy hasn't been perfect ham and egg, right?
No, but it's been relative split. And Blackwood has been injured this year, so like you do have to throw that into the equation of Wedgwood started more games than Blackie has.
Raj, if you're making that call, what are you doing? Exactly.
It's unprecedented. Like I've never seen a team go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 in the playoffs. So you would have to do something that is very unconventional. But I don't want to switch anything that this team is doing.
Is there any benefit to that from a strategic and tactical standpoint in a 7-game series? Because there are different hotspots. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean,
some goalies do. Like Blackwood is better at fighting through screens than Wedgwood is. He's just a bigger netminder. He could get up and around screens better. Wedgwood is better post to post. So there are times where you figure out like, oh, we got this guy beat. Look what the Avs did to Hellebuck a couple of years ago. All you got to do is get bodies in front of Hellebuck and get tips, and you can beat him. Now, other goaltenders might be better. Maybe Eric Comrie was better suited to deal with that type of offense.
What's the very, very last moment before a hockey playoff game that you could reveal who your netminder is?
Like legally?
Yeah.
I think it's like 15 minutes or something like that. The roster report is actually due for scratches.
I mean, let's go.
I mean, you got to let the team know who's playing, and you also got to let the netminder know who's playing. So I wouldn't do that. It's for me, this is not a tactical play against the other team.
I mean, let's go. Let's go with the dark arts against the Dallas Stars.
Okay, you want to change? Hold on. We're talking about changing things that you are used to doing in the regular season.
I mean,
I guarantee you that Scott Wedgwood isn't notified of his regular season starts 15 minutes before the game.
I'm not telling Raj. I'm not saying don't tell your own team. Don't tell the freaking Stars or the Minnesota Wild.
Well, there's not real.
Or the Tampa Bay Lightning.
They don't technically know until the roster report is set.
Which is what? 15 minutes before
Yeah,
the game?
right around that.
Sick. Because then they don't know tactically what to plan for.
I guess.
I want to be surprised. Raj, I want it to be I'm texting you like 18 minutes before.
Who's going?
Yeah. Hey, what do you know? Hey, we're gonna blow up McGahee. McGahee, let me know, man. What's going on? Tell me.
He won't let you know.
Man.
What in the world was that?
But that's kind of what I've landed on, man. Like Wedgwood has been the better of the two netminders this year, but Blackwood's been just fine. Like if Scott Wedgwood wasn't on the team this year, I would be just as confident that the Avs could win a cup with Mackenzie Blackwood alone. And that makes me think, just do the 1-2, 1-2, A-B thing in the postseason.
Okay,
why not?
You ready for this weird question? Mackenzie Blackwood, when healthy, is the best netminder in the Colorado franchise since whom?
Kemper had a pretty good season when they won it.
And then
Semyon Varlamov. Varley was better than both of these netminders were at the top of his game here in Colorado.
And what was his final year of reign?
2014?
12 years ago.
Something like that.
And
Maybe a little bit later.
And then the other question would be Scott Wedgwood in this season is the best netminder in a season for the Colorado Avalanche since when? Same?
Probably.
So
Varley's great season that he had was 2014. He played his final year in Colorado in 2019.
My point being is that this is the ultimate great problem to have. You remember the last 2 years, man?
Oh, yeah. They became the first team in history to trade both their starter and backup before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That had never happened before. And now you're trying to figure out, like, oh, you could play both of them in back-to-back games in the postseason and not really miss a beat.
Raj, we were considering going up to Blue Arena to scout out the Eagles' backup netminder.
We're looking at Trent Miner and when can we get Ilya Nabokov over here from Russia? Holy smokes. Avs win big time over the Penguins. And guys, they're up 7 points on Dallas with 12 games remaining and a game in hand. The Central's over. The Avs are having that 1 seed. They are not falling apart. It's simply not happening. Central's dead. It's going to be Dallas and Minnesota. Colorado's going in as either President's Trophy winner or at the very least the Central Division winner this year. On the other side of the break, we'll break down the Avs' late night win against the Suns. Altitude TV's Chris Dempsey joins us on the other side. On the other side of the break, we'll break down the Avs' late-night win against the Suns. Altitude TV's Chris Dempsey joins us on the other side. Don't miss a second of the Nuggets and Mavericks game tonight with coverage starting at 7:30 p.m. here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Your pregame is powered by Ramos Law, medical doctor and attorney. Visit them at ramoslaw.com. You can also watch this game on Altitude, and you can get the pregame show 1 hour before tip with our buddy Christopher A. Dempsey, who's here for his weekly baseline report. Mr. Dempsey, what's up, man?
Guys, how are you?
We're doing well. I'm assuming that you're doing also well coming off the Nuggets game, but just slightly tired than I am, considering the Avs played at 5 p.m. last night. Let's walk through this Suns victory. The non-Jokic minutes in small ball were fantastic. However, an 8-point lead starts to dwindle in the final few minutes. What's your overall grade on the win in Phoenix?
Well, I think right now I'm going to give it. Let's see. What kind of curve am I grading on right now? I would say if you're just grading it straight up, no curve, then it would be somewhere in the B to B minus. If you were grading on a curve, and that curve to me would be the fact that I think the Nuggets are still experimenting. Actually, I think they're going to do this until the end of the season or close to it. Experimenting with certain lineups. You just talked about the small ball. That is the premier lineup change that they are making and really diving into. And so, because of that, you're going to have some fits and starts, and some moments of the game might look better than others, but generally speaking, it looks good again. So in that respect, if I'm grading on that curve, I'll give them an A- because, at the end of the day, they wanted to come out with a victory anyway. They were able to do that. And so they were able to kind of have both objectives be met. You get to see more minutes of small ball lineups, even though Peyton Watson wasn't on the court. And also you were able to win a game despite the fact that you fouled a whole heck of a lot in the fourth quarter.
Debs, how rare is it in the NBA to have a first half triple-double?